Um, so is my screen visible?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So now what we will do is we will build a simple synchronous interface. Okay. What we would do is we would just add two numbers. Okay, and then we would increase the complexity in the next one. So for a synchronous interface, what we need is we will have three systems. Okay, so basic synchronous interface has three systems. Okay, one would be the sender system. Let's just name is this. Let's just name this as sender. Let's just name it receiver. Okay, and this would be our integration system. Okay, so when a sender sends a request to integration system, what integration does is it sends that request to receiver. The receiver will process that request, check if this is a synchronous one, and then it will send a response to the integration system. Okay, an integration system in turn would send the response back to the sender system. So a synchronous service is where a sender sends a request and it waits for a response, and an asynchronous would be a sender sends a request and does not wait for a response. Okay, so what we are going to do is we would be creating a synchronous service where we would be sending two numbers to CPI. So now currently we will not be using the backend system. We would just do all the processing in the CPI itself. Okay, we would just add those numbers and we would be sending back to the sender. Okay, so this much is clear. Okay, so what we would do is we would use an HTTP adapter. I'll show you how. Okay, so this is the web ID that we would be using for cloud integration. Let me just refresh it. So SAP offers updates, monthly updates. So these are the updates that have been recently launched. Okay, so we'll see them in details in the next sessions. So here, this is the web ID that we were talking about earlier. In this web ID, we have multiple options. We have Discover tab, where we can find the pre-packaged integration content, that is standard content provided by SAP. We have a Design tab, where we would be building our own integration scenario. This is like our R space where we can create our objects. Another is Operations tab. From this Operations tab, we can maintain and manage our integration scenarios. We can monitor the message flows. Let it open. Yes. So we can monitor our message flows from here. We can maintain whatever integration content that we have created. Then we have security material over there that we can use. Then we have data stores and we have logs and we have many features over here. Okay. So for now, we would do is we would just create an iFlow. Okay. So these are called artifacts in here. Okay. So I would just add integration flow. Okay. So an interface over here is called as integration flow or iFlow. So I would just name it add numbers. I would save this package. Packages are nothing but logical grouping of interfaces. They are like wrapper elements. That's it. They do not have any other significance other than grouping. Okay. So this is the editor where we can edit and develop our integration flows. So this is the standard or the basic set that we have provided. So we have a sender system, we have an integration process, and we have a receiver system. Okay. And if you see above here in this toolbar, we have multiple functions available over here. So you can use all of these functions in our integration scenarios and develop integration. Okay, so we have multiple options here to edit, configure, and deploy. So we'll just edit this iFlow. Okay, so as we talked earlier, as we saw in the previous diagram, we will have a sender sending the integration CPI request, and then CPI would in turn send the response back to the sender. Okay, so when I say sender sending a request, we see this palette function. This is start function. So whenever a message is received in the start function, the actual message processing will start. And similarly, we have here an end function. So whenever the message processing hits an end, the message processing will stop in CPI, and whatever is the further flow, that will be activated. So whatever we need to do, whatever we need to manage, or whatever we need to orchestrate in a simple interface, we need to do it in this process. Okay. Apart from this process, it will not work. Okay. So first, what I'll do is I'll create a communication channel so that a sender can communicate with this iFlow or with this interface. Okay. So I'll be using an HTTPS connection. I have connection here. We can see general parameters for this channel. Okay, so these are called channels, communication channels. So this is a sender channel. Since this is coming from a sender system, this is a sender channel. And if it were going to a receiver system, that would be called as receiver channel. Okay, we'll see configuration for them. I have some informative tabs over here where I can configure this channel. So this is the general connection details. Okay, it says it's sender, the system name, the adapter type, transport protocol, and these details. Okay, the connection tab, here I need to define an address for this service. Okay, so currently I'm giving this and postfix of address that I want to use. I will explain the significance of this address once we have deployed it. Okay, so these are the authorizations that we can use. So we can use client certificate authorization or user authorization. Okay, we'll see these parameters. Okay, and this is done. So we have set up an sender channel. Okay, so now we have that data in CPI. Let's say data has been triggered from a sender channel, and now we have that in the CPI. So now the question arises, what do we do with that data? Okay, and what is the format of that data? So for now, I have an XML data, okay, which looks like this. There's a root node, there's a row node, and I have two numbers, number 1 and number 2. Okay, so I need to add this, and I need to send one more field saying sum, and the sum of these two numbers. Okay, any questions, any queries till now?
So from where you open this XML file?
So
from the
no, I have created this XML file by myself.
Okay.
So this will be our sample payload or a sample message that we would send to CPI.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so whenever we build an interface, we need to have a sample payload so we can use it inside the interface.
Mayank, small question. Before starting, what are the softwares or tools that we need to install in our PC?
So in your PC, you do not need to basically install anything to use this. But good to have tools are, I would say, Notepad++, because it allows you this So these are not SAP tools, so it's totally fine if you do not install those. But as a developer, I would suggest install a Notepad++, install a Postman. Okay, so Postman is used to mock service request. Okay, so but for integration you do not need to install anything. So this is the whole platform. So you do not need to install anything in your own system. You need to have a trial account. You need to set up your whole trial account. I can guide you through that process, and then you can come over here. So as you can see, I'm using the browser itself. I have not installed anything.
Okay.
Mayank, if we have this trial account, then we'll be able to do all this stuff in the ID itself, right? With
Yes,
our tenants, they'll provide us tenant, and then we'll be able to do all this, right?
yes. You'll have a tenant, and you can do all of these things on your own. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So this is my tenant. This is my tenant's design part where I'm developing an iFlow. I will deploy this to my own tenant and I can access it. Okay. So good to have software are Notepad++. It will help you with payload. Like you can view payloads better in this as compared to your regular Notepad. Or if you have any XML tools, you can use them as well. You can have Postman. So SOAP UI, these are just testing tools, but we will see them later. Okay. So any queries till now? Any other queries?
So in case of connecting to our ECC system, that is in the on-premise system, so what will be the settings to be done? We'll have the ALE settings if we are doing it from PO to on-premise systems, right, to ECC. So like that, in CPI, what all will have to be done?
See those settings in the upcoming sessions. We would go through what needs to be done. We would go through the whole process. But currently, as of now, we will not be covering those in the first session itself, because those would be a little bit of an advanced part. So
everything will be covered in that, right?
Yes, we will cover those settings as well.
Fine.
Okay. So anything until now, until this XML? I heard someone. Okay. So we have an XML. Okay. But now. Yes, Murli.
So in Pivo we have SLD where we configure the technical systems and others. So do we have any other option to configure the systems in this?
No, actually here we have no systems for like we have no concept of SLD. You just have a sender system that would be triggering, and you have a receiver system. You can name this anything. You can basically name this as Postman.
Okay, and how the connectivity works? So
it's based on HTTPS adapters. So I'll tell the connectivity how it's work once I've deployed. I'll show you how a URL is generated and how we can use it.
Yeah.
Okay. So for now, we have this XML, we have this payload, but CPI being a platform, it will not understand this payload. It will need its structure. Like every structure should be defined. Like how many times we will have a root node, we'll have a row, we'll have numbers and everything. Okay. So to define an XML, we use an XSD. That is XML schema definition. Okay. So this is an XSD file. So any XML that needs to be parsed will have an XSD. So this is the XSD. Here you can see I have multiple fields, multiple tags which define what is going to be used. So let's see for number 1, it can occur. It has its occurrences. Number 2, it has all the fields that are going to be there. So we would need this XSD during the mapping. Okay. Sorry. So once I have the payload in CPI, what I want to do is I just want to add 2 numbers. I do not want to do any other thing. Okay. So what I will do is I'll use a message mapping. Okay. and I will define in the message mapping what I need to use, what I need to do to that payload. So I'll just create one. And here we have an editor. This is a graphical editor where you can transform one XML to another XML, but for now we would be using the same XML. So here we can see the source message, and here we can see the target message. So let me add the structures. Sorry. So you can upload it from your desktop. Okay, so now I can see there's a structure to my XML that I used earlier. So there's a root node, row node, number 1, number 2. Okay, I uploaded an XSD and now I got a structure. So I want the same structure in the target target side as well. So I will use the same XSD. Okay, and now we will map each field according to our requirements. So for now I do not want to map anything different. I just want to map everything one to one. So number 1 goes to number 1, number 2 goes to number 2, like this. So I have an option here to map identical fields. Okay, so when I click that, I can see these fields are mapped. Now I can go to each field and select its mapping, and here in the below editor we can see how it is mapped or how this is going to be used. Okay, but for some, now see, now I have this XML, my payload. Here I do not have some, the third tag. I want that third tag to be populated. So what I'll do is I'll use this XML. I'll add this number 1 and number 2. So to do that, I'll just have to drag and drop number 1 here, the field here, number 2 field here, and it automatically appears in the editor.
Mayank, one question.
Yes.
Do we have all these functions that we have in PIPO in CPI as well?
Yes, we do.
So even there's node functions and everything is there?
Yes, we do.
Oh, okay.
So here we see this is a small column. There we can see standard functions that are provided by SAP. So these are categorized on the data that they can be used.
So this comes in the mapping section, and the palettes come differently, right?
Yes, palettes are totally different as compared to this mapping ones.
Okay, those are in addition to those which we have in the PO. Palettes and PO have no relation, right?
No, palettes and PO have no relationships.
Okay, those are only there for the CPI, right? Yes.
Okay. Those are only that palette concept exists in CPI, not in PO.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So now we have a different functions that we can use over here. Okay. So for now I want to add. So I'll go to the arithmetic, and I have multiple functions over here. I can add numbers, subtract. I can check if it's equals, then square root, sign. There's multiple functions. Okay. So what I want to do is I want to add. So to add two numbers, to add for an addition operation, I would need two numbers. So what I'll do is I'll just pick this field, and I will graphically map this as a number 1 and a number 2. So so this will be my parameter 1. This will be my parameter 2. And the output for add, I want to map this to this field, to the sum field. Okay. Any questions? Any doubts still here? Okay. So I'll just click on OK. So it will save this, and we can go back to our initial editor. Okay. So now I've done the message mapping. So now I'm getting the output as number 1, number 2, and number 3 sum. So I'll just save this. Okay. And we will deploy this to the server, to the tenant. So when I say deploy, this is like a code deployment. The whole whatever you have created will now be deployed on the server. Currently you are just integrating this in your IDE. Now it has been deployed to the server. It says add numbers has been deployed successfully. Now to check its status, we can go to this manage integration content in the overview tab, and I can see add numbers has been deployed. Okay, so here I have very other information regarding the whole iFlow. I have log, I have message monitoring, I have an endpoint. So now I got an endpoint when I deployed using this HTTPS adapter. So when we see this part, this is my tenant part, tenant URL, sorry. And when we see this part, this is the postfix that I added earlier. So this now would be identified as my endpoint to my iFlow. So I cannot have this endpoint to any other iFlow, else the system would be confused so as to configure route the message to which iFlow. Okay. So I'll just copy this URL. Now I will go to Postman. Okay, so I already had created a request for that. So in Postman we can. So this is Postman. This is an open source software to mock request. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll enter the URL that I need to hit here, over here. So this is the URL that I've just got from the iFlow that I deployed. We have multiple sections over here. We can add parameters, authorizations, headers, body. We'll see what are these parts in the upcoming session.
Mayank,
Okay.
we can use SOAP-UI also for the same purpose, right?
Yes, you can, but this is better in terms when we want to access the HTTP request. We have multiple operations here. Like
Oh, okay.
for SOAP services, SOAP-UI is better. But when it comes to HTTP services, we have a lot more operations over here.
Okay.
Okay, SOAP and REST-based services. Okay, so now for the payload, I'll just copy paste it again from my this part. So now this Postmail will act as a sender system. It will send this payload with a request to CPI, and CPI will send a response back. So let's just hit send. Okay, so now we can see I got a response back. So this is the XML structure. So I'll just format it into XML. Okay, so now I can see I got the number of SOM as 30.